This is why your midterm rental insurance niche business isn't growing or isn't going to go anywhere before you even get started. And it's if you're short-sighted and you're trying to get some really big wins right out the gate, this is the number one way you can stop your business before it gets started. So what are we talking about? We are talking about the midterm rental insurance, which really the midterm rental word is just used in-house. It's really temporary housing. That's the word that is out there into the industry. And temporary housing has been around for years, decades. And one thing that the temporary housing business is, it's a very, very driven relationship based business. It's a very small space, and it just takes one little stupid mistake to mess it all up. So what you want to do, and the most important thing you really want to focus on, is providing quality service and transparency in how you do business. Now, we are not a non-profit business. We are certainly a for-profit business, but there's a fine line between trying to make all the profit on one deal versus playing the long-term game and volume game and relationship game. And this is specifically tied to the pricing and transparency in how you're going. If you're going into this industry thinking I am going to charge the most amount of money possible and squeeze the juice and 5x my rental LTR rates, and just as soon as I hear that it's an insurance lead, now I'm just completely price gouging, changing all the prices, you're gonna be in for a very short run in the space, because the truth is people do business with people that they trust, and you want to do right by the people who are actually feeding you the contracts, and you don't want to do wrong by them. And an easy, quick way to do wrong by them is to price gouge to someone who you know has the bucks to back it up. You should be still very ethical in your pricing strategies and ethical in how you do your business. And what that means, sometimes it means that you're actually making it work for the best interest of the parties on the other side. Now, don't get it twisted. You don't want to leave money on the table, but you also don't want to turn into, oh, it's insurance, let me run this up, right? Because that is going to run, people are going to catch on very quickly. They're going to know. And while you might get one deal that's pretty big, you may not get them again, because let's be honest, there's a lot of operators out there who are easy to do business with. And, you know, even if their price is a little bit lower, if they are ethical, if they're staying consistent in their pricing, they're playing the long-term game, they're going to get all the business. And you might get a big win and a quick win, and you might not get one ever again, right? So the best advice I can give is to be very transparent. One way that we are transparent in our pricing is to actually give different tiered pricing based on the length of stays, right? Just like any other industry, we don't reinvent anything here. There's a reward for doing business with us longer than shorter. So while you might have a price that's one price per month, you want to make sure that, hey, you want to reward someone for actually booking longer with you up front. So what you want to do is actually state that in your terms. Make it so that just like your cable company, just like your phone company, whoever, just like any other membership out there, why is it that if I sign up for 12 months, I get a different rate than if I sign up for 1 month? If I pay as I go, or versus 3, or versus 6, or versus 9. Catch my drift? Give the insurance companies, the relocation agencies, options to do business with you, to continue to actually do business with you for that reason, right? It will then work in your favor, right? So it is, again, in your best interest to continue to serve at scale and think volume. You don't have to hit a home run every single time you talk to these companies, where, again, that's cool for Instagram, that's cool for showing social proof, but is it cool for the longevity and life of the business? And keep that in mind too, right? I want to make sure that you're a real partner. You're not just boasting about how much money you're making off their backs, because they're going to catch on. It's in your actual best interest to show that you truly care about waiving some fees sometimes. Or in the last video I recorded, we ate the cost of a $15,000 damage. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but I'm showing you that it's very important for actually, it says something about you. If you're a vendor that says, you know what, if you're currently getting value from watching this video, you'll want to make sure you take a second and click below to grab the midterm rental insurance blueprint to help accelerate your process in being able to land these midterm rental insurance contracts with respect to your marketplace. Make sure you click the button below and grab it and continue on with the gems in this video. There was a lot of damage, but this one's on us, right? We got this covered because we're playing the long-term game. We want to be good in your books, and therefore we want to make right by the family, and therefore we're going to cover that cost. Or let alone, and as I mentioned in my other videos, we're going to have some risk mitigations, damages in place where we actually are going to protect our asset by having the right damage waivers in place, so that whenever there's an excessive amount of damage, we're not going back to your customer to ask for the money that exceeds their security deposit. We have a system in place that to make that coverage. That goes a long way, because now it's like, okay, these guys are professionals, right? So are you a professional, or are you being an amateur? Are you trying to go for the big slam dunk or the big home run every single deal? Or are you okay with being flexible? Part of that flexibility is often not having or understanding the math, which is very important and something I want to highlight, because not understanding the math in this space means that you might be, again, thinking you're being super aggressive and trying to have a very aggressive price for a shorter period of time, and really would make more sense to have a less aggressive price for a longer period of time, because that would make you more money anyway, and that would also alleviate the amount of stress you're putting on the coverage D for that insured who's displaced and has a certain amount of budget that they're working on. And keep in mind that their loss of use is not just for your housing. It may be for additional costs that they've incurred because they're no longer able to live in their current home. So you can't selfishly expect and think that, let me just reverse engineer their coverage, take 25 to 30% what their home is worth, and I'm going to run up that budget. You have to think that there might be some additional costs that they have incurred, like storage or some additional transportation, some additional need that, again, you're only getting a sliver of their story, or a piece of you're just one pillar or one cog, in the wheel of what's actually happening behind the entire scenes of their disaster. I had actually a friend recently asked me about how long do they actually have to relocate, and it really depends on their situation. Some folks have been in a hotel for quite some time, and then some folks are coming to you because once they find you, then their work begins, right? So you don't know where they're at in their journey. You can only find out, but you shouldn't be thinking that this is solely for you. You should be very long-term sighted when it comes to the product that you're trying to offer and the brand that you're trying. Remember, anyone can put out marketing, put out an ad about what they do, right? But branding is what people say when you're not in the room. So what is your brand saying when you're not in that room? Are they saying, oh, these guys are bait and switch, they have one price, and when we reach out to them, it's another? Do they have oh, these guys price gouge us because every time we reach out and we say it's insurance, their prices will triple? Remember, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, and it takes one moment, one bad deed to ruin that reputation, and your reputation precedes you. So it is in your best interest that in this place, keep in mind, are you looking for the short-term wins, the short-term home runs, or are you looking to win the championship? And if you're looking to last in this industry, it's going to matter that you're playing the long-term game, because your relationships and your contracts and your deals will compound over time, especially if people are willing to continue to come back to you. If you got value from this video, make sure you check out my contact versus contracts video, the midterm rental secret that will skyrocket your profits.